I'm not doing too well at all. I'm fixing to be homeless again because the caseworkers told me that they were taking care of everything at the last apartment and didn't do it. And so now there's a balance due over there, and my application to this new apartment was rejected because of that. It was, yeah, they approved it, part of it, but it wasn't all of it. It was not $106. It was $206. So when we got over there, I don't know, ma'am. I'm very confused, and that's why I'm asking them for help down there. And I've been talking to my caseworker down there, uh, and like I said, this is just to move into another temporary thing because I need a handicap accessible apartment, and the one that I'm moving into is not handicap accessible, but it's not in a crime zone. The cops were out here Sunday because of gunfire right here by my apartment, and yeah, right, yeah, and I've asked them. They're supposed to be helping me find a handicap accessible apartment for 2 years now, and as we're riding over there because she picked me up, I'm having trouble driving, getting around, and she took me over there to that thing, and she told me that they have a housing specialist at the uh, in their group down there, and I asked her why isn't this person working with me? And she's like, well, we found you this place and you said it was okay. Well, I mean, I found a place that said it was okay because I got to get out of here, but it's not what I asked for, and that's been 2 years old. That's not an unreasonable request, I don't think. Man, my voucher is for $783 a month. That is enough money to rent a decent place. But you have to. It takes a lot of work to find one because a lot of people don't want to take the voucher, and it's even harder because I'm trying to find something that's handicap accessible. And I would think that in the program down there that they would have some resources down there that they would know of places to be able to help you. Oh, we have a list of people that work with veterans or uh, not just I went over here and visited a veteran and it's nicer over here than it is over there. Maybe you can move over here. And I was like, well, I got to move somewhere. You know, right? And I paid $500 to have movers move me here. To turn around and have to move somewhere else. And this is where the VA person brought me here and said, here's a place to move into because we had to find a place right away. Well, and I want it noted that uh, Mr. Polino has called and left a message for me. But in the midst of all this stuff that's going on, like I said, it's easy for me to get confused. And I wrote his number down, but I haven't gotten in touch with him. But he has reached out to me. No, man, that was probably a week or so ago. The apartment people that were supposed to be going through my accounting records over there to see what was going on were supposed to call me back on yesterday, and I never heard back from them. And my caseworker's off yesterday and today, and her supervisor was off, and the housing lady was off yesterday and today, and uh, basically they're telling me to do the same thing that they told me to do the last time that got me in this mess to begin with. And I and if these things would be handled the first time, they wouldn't have a line of people down there coming back for help and making it so much, more for people to do. It's like if you would just do it right the first time, but they don't follow up with nothing. My physical therapy ended like almost 2 months ago, and the pain management people haven't done anything to move forward with that. I met with three people down there one day. I was down there for almost 3 hours. Met with this psychiatrist and this guy, and yeah. Dr. Ghosh is the one that's got me all messed up to begin with. He put me in a drug treatment program, and that's not what I needed. I needed pain management, not a drug addict. I've never been a drug addict. I smoked pot, I don't now, but it's the only illicit drug I've ever used. But the first time I went and saw him, he said, "You're too young to have back problems." Well, now looking at all the evidence that's come out, my back is messed up from my feet to my head. But he won't listen to me. He's like, he's too smart. Oh, there's nothing wrong with your back. You're just here looking for these drugs, and then you're abusing your drugs, and then you're dealing your drugs, you're selling them. It was one thing after another. Then this last time he said he wasn't going to prescribe it to me because of my suicide. I said I was suicidal because I can't live with this pain. And now I have this ACT team that's sending a nurse over here that's going to handle all my medication. So I couldn't abuse it, and he refused to work with them on that. So I've gone to Harris County and got a Harris County Gold Card and paying to see doctors and get prescriptions out of pocket. If I wasn't doing that, I might have enough money to pay this deposit over there. I probably spent $400 or $500 last year at Harris County. Right, to get the health care that the VA says that they're there to provide. Yes, ma'am, and that's not the first time. I was already in that aquatic therapy, and it's not helping me. Uh, I want to see a neurologist and an orthopedic doctor, a specialist that can look at my records and not tell me what's. I don't need somebody to tell me what's not wrong with me. I need somebody to tell me what's wrong with me and how we're going to fix it. A neurologist. Well, I went down there when I attempted suicide in last February because I was in the same situation I'm in today. The very same circumstances are happening today that happened then. And I got so overwhelmed, and my apartment had gotten all dirty because I couldn't keep it up because I'm so crippled. And it was supposed to be sending somebody over there to help me for 3 months. That thing had been approved and nobody showed up to help me. Eventually, Adult Protective Services comes in and helps me get the apartment cleaned up so I can pass inspection. And yes, yeah, they sent somebody out and helped me. And I didn't start getting home health care through the VA until I moved over here some 4 or 5 months after it had been approved through the VA down there. I do 3 days a week for 3 hours a day. She does light housekeeping, and she helps me get in and out of the bathtub and helps me wash my hair and my back because my shoulders are neck are all messed up. So can't do some of those things, and it's real hard for me once I'm in the tub because I like to soak in that hot water. Uh, and I tried to get out and I fell and broke 2 ribs on the side of the tub, and but it took 45 days to get an appointment to see the doctor down there. Ma'am? No, ma'am. The housing deputy director of housing said that they were sending somebody over here to outfit this bathroom with handicap stuff, and I got a bar in the mail. Is all they did. Supposed to be sending somebody over here to put a ramp for me to get in and out of my apartment on my wheelchair, and that never happened. It's just lies and lies and lies and promises that never happen, and but anyway, as to the neurologist, I took all my medicine. I was in this methadone program that Dr. Ghost put me into, and that was supposed to be treating my back pain, and it wasn't. I was getting worse. I couldn't get up and down the steps, and I tried to tell them that. I went and saw the pain management doctor, and he basically just basically sent me on my way. Whatever. No ma'am. When I went and took all my medicine, they sent me to the ER down there, and just so you know, the Houston Fire Department showed up in the ambulance. They didn't even want to transport me because there was nothing wrong with me. They said, "You did this yesterday?" I said, "Yeah," and they're like, "Well, all your vital signs are fine. If it weren't for you being suicidal, we wouldn't take you. You have somebody that can come over here and be with you that we can leave you with." And I'm like, "Well, no, I'm all alone over here. I don't have anybody helping me." I said, "Well, we can't just leave you over here." So they took me down there to the ER at the VA in February of last year. And I was supposed to be going down there to see the doctor over the methadone program, the psychiatrist that's been prescribing my medication. I hadn't seen him for like 2 or 3 years. I hadn't seen a doctor up there, and that stuff had rotted my teeth out of because of dry mouth, because I was breathing or something. It's not tooth decay. It's something that happened in like 6 months. All my teeth had rotted out. I got to pull all my teeth out. Well, I'm in the process of doing that. I went down there. Said they were going to try to leave my molars in, and then when I went down there at Harris County, then they've changed their mind down there 3 times. First it was going to do all of them, then it was going to do part of them, then it was going to do all of them again, and now I'm back at square one with that, And I was hoping that I could get my benefits. I've been waiting for 6 years for my benefits down there to get my service-connected benefits because all my back problems started in the military. And then with that, I could get dental care and maybe get implants. But if I get them all pulled out now and it takes too long to get access to a dentist, then you can't get implants, I don't think. So, but anyway, I'm in off track. So I get to the ER down there. I'm waiting to see Dr. Fairmo or whatever his name is. Been the first time that I had seen him since he had taken over that clinic some 3 years ago. But when I get to the ER, they put me in a little observation room back there where they put you. They put me in the little medical suit they put you in, and they put an IV in my arm. It was just saline, I told them that I was very thirsty. My mouth gets very dry. They said, "Well, we'll give you saline." They wouldn't even bring me a bottle of water to drink to dry my dry throat. They said, "We'll just give you a saline bag, and that'll, you won't be dehydrated. Nothing to do with you being dry mouth and wanting to drink water." That's how they treated me down there. And so they put this thing in my arm, and I'm sitting there. I'm on the floor because I can't hardly sit in a chair. And a nurse comes in there and injects something in that thing and walks out and leaves me in there. I'm all by myself back there. I had to sit in a chair while he did that. And he left, and in about 30 seconds, I got real dizzy. And I fell over, and this wave of heat came down my body. And I started screaming for somebody. I said, help me, this medicine is making me sick." And I pulled the IV out of my arm because I didn't want any more of that stuff coming into me. It was making me sick. And then another wave of that heat came down my body, and I pulled my shirt off, and I was pulling at the waistband of my pants trying to fan air down them because it was burning, but my nerves were on fire. My nerves were burning, and now that burning persists. Huh? There was nobody there. Well, when by the time somebody came in there, the floor was covered in blood, and mucus, because the mucus was just pouring out of my mouth. I couldn't stop it. It was just pouring. It was choking. I was choking on it, and there was a group of them standing out the door looking at me saying, we'll help you, but you got to stop spitting. I said, I can't. I'm choking on this stuff. I got to get it out of my throat. So I'm crawling around in this mucus and blood in the floor, begging for somebody to help me. My nerves are burning on fire. I'm half naked. I'm screaming for somebody to help me. And finally somebody injects me with something, and I wake up in the hospital the next day. And you couldn't possibly imagine what it feels like to be back there and having this reaction happen in your body, and not know what's going on, and nobody there to help you, and nobody knew what to do, and everybody was running around. So now I've read since then, I've researched some of that, and they put something called Narcan in my body to counteract the methadone, but I was in no critical. That's for somebody who's unconscious, whose breathing has stopped or whatever. They're supposed to have somebody there to establish an airway, and somebody there to monitor you and give you a little bit of that stuff at a time. And they're not supposed to give it to anybody that's on a long-term methadone program, because that stuff is so deeply rooted in your body. It's attached to the dopamine receptors in your brain, and it basically rips that stuff out of there like a zipper, and it set my whole body on fire. And now my nerves won't stop burning. I've taken this gabapentin to try to control it, but my feet burn all the time, and the more I walk, the more they burn. And I need to see a neurologist to see what type of nerve damage has happened from that stuff. It's caused some type of permanent nerve damage in my body. And the only thing that they put in the thing is that he was agitated or aggravated or whatever. I was going through convulsions and involuntary muscle spasms and yawning uncontrollably. That's not aggravation. That's called acute withdrawal symptoms, and they caused it by injecting that stuff in my body when they shouldn't have. And I haven't had the physical ability to get down there to file any paperwork, but I'm going to intend to file paperwork down there to sue this hospital for that. And Dr. Ghosh is the one that started it all, and that's who they sent me back to. And now, they say to go to do this pool therapy. I've already done the pool therapy, but I'll do it again. And well, yeah, I mean, the lady tells me today, you just need to be patient. I said, ma'am, if it was because of me being patient that all this stuff got built up. And now it's at a point where I'm overwhelmed with this stuff, and it's a big pile of stuff that's going on. But I've asked to get reassigned to a new doctor. I sent a message through my eVet to Dr. Jovu and said, I'm having these health problems. There's no plan of action. Nothing's moving forward. I don't want to see that Dr. Ghosh no more. I've already spoken to the NASA clinic patient advocate, and he didn't do what he said he was going to do. So I've asked him to move me to a different clinic or give me some type of fee-based service where I can go see a doctor outside the VA that I trust, because they're not helping me down there. Nothing has gotten done for the 6 years that I've been going down there except this botched surgery that they did to my back, and it's killing me. Than another clinic, yeah, than to see it different. Yes, yes. No, I mean just a doctor, preferably one that's been educated in the United States. I don't want to see a doctor that's coming from India, from the Dow Medical College in Pakistan, You know, they just giving degrees out to those people so they can come over here and get jobs, and the government hires them because they're cheap. I don't know. Right. Well, that has gone. Yeah, that's gone to a U.S. medical school, not a foreign doctor that's come over here on some type of program. You know, I was in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and they sending me to these Iraqi doctors. I don't think that those Iraqi doctors have a lot of compassion for American soldiers that were in their country fighting their people. You know. Right, and that's yeah, that's the feeling that I get, that they don't have any compassion for you, that they're just there to get paid. And yes, ma'am. No, the ones there, the pain management doctor was from Iran. My other doctor's from Pakistan, and that's Dr. Ghosh, you know. And if you know anything about those people over there, they don't have a lot of compassion for their own people. Yeah, it's the follow through is the thing. I mean, right. So, you know, they record you as coming down there, you know, and say, you know, we saw this patient today, and then that's it. You know, it's like, what's next? This didn't work, and how do we move forward? And it takes another, you know, it took me 90 days to get an MRI. It took me 45 days to get an appointment to see a specialist. And I get down there. It was so hard for me to get down there. And the caseworker says that somebody's going to be waiting for you outside the front of the hospital to push you in because I can't pull my wheelchair. My left leg doesn't work, it's deteriorating away. Now, my right knee is swollen because I'm using it to pull my wheelchair. So I told him I can't do that through that big hospital. She says, don't worry about it. Call me when you're close. I'll have somebody meet. That didn't happen. So I get upstairs and see this guy, and he's not a doctor, he's a student. I'm not the doctor. I'm just a student. I'm leaving next week. You'll have to come back and make another appointment, another 45 days away to see a doctor. Uh huh. Yes. Yes. Uh, I know that one of them in the past said that she took her client to the VA, but well, my caseworker in this ACT team said that they were going to come to my doctor's appointment, but they didn't do that. Right. I do. Oh yeah, my blood pressure goes up like 30 points. You know, my blood pressure is 6 digits. It's 100 something over 100 something. Right. Mhm. Right. 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 Oh, okay. Right. 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 Yeah, and see, I don't have any family support. I don't have any friends. I can't make friends here because yeah, I would probably need to find some veterans group or something that would be able to have somebody do that for me because I don't, it would take too long. It would take. She's only got 3 hours that she's supposed to help me, and that would be all of the time she had. I mean, I don't know if we could get down there and back in 3 hours. It takes so long. I don't have any idea. I've worked with some of them people at the regional office, and they don't really seem to know what they're doing over there. I called over there about my claim, and the lady says, "Well, your claim just got here. We're still working on stuff that's 3 years old." And if she had taken the time to look at the deal, it was asking for me to submit a letter, a release of information. And she was telling me to wait 2 years to do that, and they wanted that in like 6 weeks. But she didn't even care to look and to see what the thing was saying. No, I don't. I'm not familiar with that. No, ma'am. Uh huh. Yeah, well, I had asked them, to send if they could have a doctor come here. I know a psychiatrist came over here, and a physician's advocate came over here, but never heard back from any of them. They were supposed to be making some consultation for me to go over to Post Oak. There's some PTSD group over there. Then never heard back from that. The physician's assistant and I had this conversation, and she was going to go back and look in my file and see what was going on and get back with me. And I never heard back from her. And I've asked my social worker, what's going on with that. I haven't heard from these people, and no response, no reply. She's supposed to be helping me get my. I don't even have a driver's license. I don't have an ID. Because I got a ticket, some years ago, and it turned into a warrant, and I can't go get my ID, and it's supposed to be helping me with that since June of last year. You know, and 3 months had gone by since our first meeting, and I called her. I said, Sandy, what's going on with? There was like a list of 4 or 5 things that you were supposed to be helping me with. Where are we at on any of that? Well, I don't know. I had to destroy that list when I got back because it has your personal information on it, and we don't keep that. And it's like, well, then how do you know what you're supposed to be doing to help me? And it's still unresolved. I went, like I said, it's so hard for me to get around, and I was trying to work with those people and get all this stuff done so that I would just have to go down there maybe one time to meet with those people at the Beacon Law Center. I made an appointment. I went down there. I was 10 minutes early. I sat in there for almost an hour. Before I had to leave, I couldn't sit in there no more. I couldn't. Beacon Law. There's some type of law that they do for you that's a non-profit that does free legal, and the 31st. they said if I can get that other stuff taken care of, that I can reapply over there in 6 weeks. Once I have this thing resolved. Right. And so, they're telling me to stay here for another month. Well, that's what they told me the last time. And that's how that stuff all got messed up, because the case manager for housing told me that he had talked to the CEO of Harris County Housing Authority, and that they had spoken with the management of that property, and to just stay there for another week, because this place failed inspection twice. They couldn't even pass inspection for housing. Twice. I just put my stuff in storage. I take my cats to my mom's and live on the street. Well, I mean, I can't stay here another month. Then I'm going to have another, another $700 of rent that's owed to somebody. Can't afford that. Right. You're absolutely right. Right. I was up till 6 o'clock last night, like you said, with all these thoughts running through my head, you know. And I tell you, I've got a can of this dust off. You know what dust off is? Spray on computer parts and stuff. So I figured out I can put a ligature around my neck and then spray that stuff into a sock until I pass out, and then I'll fall limp, and then I'll hang myself. I've tried that, when it didn't work. I know it, but I'm at the end of my rope. I mean, literally. Right, right, exactly. Yeah, I'm trying. I don't want to die. Well, I got some pain medication finally uh, from Harris County, and they started me off with a real low dose, and they're telling me I got to go to pain management in a couple of months. But I do have some pain medication, but it's not enough, and if I do too much, I get to hurting real bad. Um, Especially when you're on the pain medication and you've got some relief, and then it goes away, the pain seems to be so much worse. But I try to soak in the tub, and I got this when I do things, when like going down there with her to that see that office over there, hurt me so bad. the next day I can hardly walk. My hips hurt so bad, and they were supposed to call me back yesterday. Yeah, yes, you're right. Well, I was moved up here. I moved up here to be closer to my mother, and my mother was telling me she was gonna, you know, now if I was close to her, she was gonna come over here 2 or 3 days a week. The days that the home health care person wasn't here and spend an hour or two with me. It's not like I'm asking her to come over here and clean or do anything, but that never happened. She just lives right down the street, you know. And so I talked to one of my cousins the other day. I'd found a Facebook page that's called VA Sucks as I was searching for VA neglect. And somebody has a face page of VA Sucks. And so I had to log into Facebook. And when I did, I'd seen a message back in December that my cousin had sent me. And I called him. It's on my dad's side. And there's a, there's a, I got an aunt down there and some cousins down there and my uncle's down there. He actually lives in a disabled place that he's bringing me in Brazoria County in Angleton. He's bringing me an application on Saturday to apply down there, but that's got some porting thing that has to happen, and I have to be transferred from one housing authority to another one, and they have to be able to have the money down there to do it because apparently the VA doesn't financially support the housing program. They just provide social work. So if I could get down there with him, yeah, right, because I would be near somebody that I could have somebody to talk to every day and go and he's got an electric wheelchair that he says he doesn't use that I could use and I could get around over there. They have a nice social cohesive unit down there, and it's it's sponsored through the Department of Agriculture, and it's a rent controlled property down there, and it's for senior citizens and for disabled people. Yeah, little one. They're all one-story apartments. Right. Well, yes, yes, yes. They ain't never done anything wrong to me, uh, and my aunt, his sister, she goes over there to his house, once a week to visit him, and he's got a stroke on one side of his body, so she does the things that he can't, really take care of on himself. So she's over there frequently, and they have a little ranch there on the north side of Angleton that they go over to, on the weekends. And no, 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 no. It's nothing like that. And honestly, I wouldn't really want to live in a institution like that. I mean, I can cook if I had a wheelchair accessible apartment. I could cook on my own. I could sit there in my wheelchair and do these things. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he said like they have a thing every once a month. They have a thing where the complex people feed everybody and a big social kind of thing. And then another once a month they have a potluck thing where everybody brings something and they have. It's just a real nice unit down there, and it's in a place I'm familiar with. I went to high school down there, so right, right, right. And then he goes and does stuff, so I could ride with him like he rides down to the beach. I could ride to the beach and be able to get out there in the water, and that water helps me so much. right, right. Well, right. No, I mean, I think that being down there would be very beneficial to me. Uh, if I had a handicap accessible apartment, I don't think I would be, like I am today. Like I had asked them for a mobile wheelchair down there, and the pain management guy, Doctor Ghost, that same old doctor, somehow they canceled that consultation. For me to get a electric wheelchair, and I guess in lieu of that, they sent me to physical therapy, and then that didn't work, and it's over. And if I had a chair where I could get out, I'm inside all day. I'm trapped inside here. If I had a chair, I could get out. I could go to the mailbox. You know, uh huh. Well, my uncle is sick, and he comes up here all the time. So, you know, He's already said he could take me to the doctor up here. There is a clinic down there in Lake Jackson. Um, so they got mental health and physical health there. Mm. Yeah, Dr. Yolande was my psychiatrist, and since she left, I haven't been able to get another psychiatrist. You know. Oh yeah, right, right. Yeah, I would be able to go back and see her, and there was a Doctor Chukwu or something that I was seeing here. That he was a Nigerian man, but he was very. It, yeah, yeah, Doctor Chukwu. Yeah, yeah, he was really good. He was very, very. Hmm. And I could get in and out of it. The VA hospital is so big. It's so hard for me to get down there and get in there and get around. Yeah, yeah. They said they helped me move down there and everything. My, right. I tried the Metro lift, but Metro lift takes like 4 hours, and that's too much riding for me. I can't ride for that long. No, I have not. Yes. Yeah, I actually contacted the MS people because that's the kind of symptoms that I've been having since they. I don't either, but I want to see a neurologist about that. Right. No, no, not that I'm aware of. Okay. Right. 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 I'll see. I see. Right. 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 Okay. Okay. I can try. Well, I used to. I've got these cats, and that's the only thing that keeps me sometimes is I don't want to abandon them, you know, and so um, that's my family. I've had two of them cats for 15 years, and I don't want to. No, I used to build these plastic models, but I got an airbrush and all this paint and everything to build them. I built two or three of them already, but I can't sit up there anymore and do that. My TV is broken now, so I can't really watch TV, and I've got this internet connection, but it's yeah, I have a little laptop, so okay. Uh huh. Right.
So, just a thought for you.
Okay.
Think of something that you still enjoy. So for some people it might be reading. For some people it might be shooting, having drawing, or doing your mom. You can do that in the increment of 20 minutes a couple of times during the day.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Right.
I want you to try it out for yourself, okay?
Okay.
I'm not your therapist, so I won't be, kind of following up with you, but I want you to just think about it, and I want you to pay attention to your mood. And if you can just get your mind off of it just a little bit, and make it something that may lift your mood just a tiny bit,
Right.
it may be something that helps a little bit, and then you can, when you're feeling a little better, a little bit of that problem solving, it'll kind of give you a direction and channel some of that anxiety a little bit. So just try a little bit of that, okay?
Uh-huh.
Just think about it.
Okay.
And I'll get all this typed up and you just, if you need to, and just, and there's nothing else you can do, is just hang on. I don't want you to hesitate to call the emergency room, okay?
Uh-huh.
And go to the emergency room, call 911, crisis line, and help you call 911. So I just want to keep you safe, okay?
Right.
But I do know that some of these things that they need to be solved to get your stress level down,
Right.
get your pain level down. So, but anyway, I'm gonna have to go because I've got somebody just handed me an assignment that I need to do. So, to look up something to do with the inpatient psychiatric care. So, but anyway, you hang in there over the weekend, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And you got my number?
No, let me get it.
Okay.
I'm writing all this on a box because I lose all these papers and numbers everywhere all the time. Go ahead.
713
Uh-huh.
791
Uh-huh.
1414.
Okay.
And then my extension is 26190.
Okay.
And my name is Michelle Kraft.
Okay. It's K-R-A-F-T.
I'm actually a C.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking with you.
Have a
And
good day.
before I let you go, remind me of your cat's name.
Oh, let's see. There's Abraham, and then there's Socrates, and I have a little girl that's Princess.
That's a great name.
They're all came off the street. They were all strays. So.
That's very special. Now, my husband and I have some cows, and we have these little calves. Guess what? Guess what we've named our calves after? Our little baby calves.
Uh-huh.
We've named them all after presidents.
Oh.
So we have one named Lincoln, and when you said Abraham, that's what made me think of it.
Oh, okay.
So we have one that's named Lincoln, and he's just the perfect Lincoln. He looks like a little buffalo.
Right.
And one's name is Teddy, for Theodore.
Right.
The other one is Jefferson.
Uh-huh.
And then, no, that's the only three little ones we have. The other ones are Sunfire and Missy. So we have five that are, kind of younger ones.
And I guess they're not being raised for the grill then.
No. Most of them, well, the boys, unfortunately, will have to be sold, and then other people will determine. But the girls we keep. So
Oh,
we keep
okay.
to have other babies. So
Yes,
that's nice.
my aunt and them have they have like 80.
Yeah. They're pretty sweet. I mean, my grandma had cows, and I never knew why she loved them so much. But I really like cows.
Oh yeah, well that's what I thought. Being down there, that maybe once a week we go over there to my aunt's house on that little old ranch there. It's on the north side of Angleton.
Yeah.
It's about 100 acres, and they got cows on there. And
Yeah, it would be good for you. I mean, when you describe that, I'm wondering. I'm sure that there's some cons there too. Just because everything has pros and cons. And I think the main con for you is I know that it's been hard sometimes working with the ACT team, but I'm not sure the ACT team's down there.
well, I
So
talked
we'd have
to
look into it.
I talked to her, and she said that they had moved some guy up to Huntsville, and it was the same thing.
She thinks they might be able to?
Yeah, they moved him to Huntsville, and it was, we'll do your case management for 3 or 4 months, and then their plan was to graduate you, and then you'll be safe there on your own, and they would just do phone contacts
Okay,
once.
so kind of help you transition in a
Yeah, right. If you have a support group or whatever, they're comfortable with you being down there and on your own, then they just do phone contacts, and that's something that they can reasonably do.
Uh-huh.
So, she says that they can do it. I just got to get moved from Harris County Housing Authority to Brazoria County's Housing Authority.
Mhm.
Because apparently, that's where the funds come from. It doesn't come from the VA, it comes from HUD. So they just have to have the resources to take on a new person down there. Um, I don't know why they wouldn't just transfer the resources that I have from here to there. I don't understand that, but
It's kind of everything is definitely very complex, and
but
usually has a
he said on that
location, and
he
yeah,
said
but
on
you
that
definitely need that.
application that it's the Department of Agriculture, is like the underwriter or whatever. So he said,
Mhm.
you can apply in both ways. You can apply through this HUD thing. You can also apply through the Department of Agriculture for this other side or whatever.
Mhm.
So there's a couple of options down there, and it's like you said. I mean, it's got some cons to it, but I think the good things outweigh the bad, and
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah, sounds like you've been thinking of a lot of good things. So, well, I'm gonna have to let you go because I've
okay.
got two things on my plate I'm gonna have to take care of. But I sure have enjoyed talking with you.
Well, thank you, Miss Kraft. I
All
appreciate
right.
it.
You have a good weekend.
Bye bye.